Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of March the 2nd, 2023. The current character challenge is static. That is a 1-week repeat. And the required characters for that are The Flash, Green Arrow, and Green Lantern, who you can all get directly in the store at bronze tier. So that's great for new players. This is sort of the best case scenario that isn't no requirements at normal difficulty at all.
And there are still new players. We're seeing that actually in the comments.
Yeah. And so his passive is Aftershock, which is immune to power drain. Successfully blocking special attacks generates power for static. He's got 1,050 for both his attack and his health stat. And he was last available on the 5th of May, 2022.
So, all right. So static. First thing is that's obvious that jumps out at you is that he's got lowish stats.
Yeah.
And we used to have a bit of fun with him where you could double his basic damage with the gears, and link is in the description. But as a gimmick to play around with, it's interesting. Not that useful considering that the current meta favors specials against basic damage by a lot.
Yeah.
There's two parts to his passive. We'll break it down. So this first part is being immune to power drain. It's pretty good, but it's not nearly as important as maybe it should be, because I sometimes forget. And if I see Rebirth Raven tag in, I've already tagged him out before I realize he's not in danger, and I end up making the fight drag on a bit.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that's easy to forget.
Right. And it's not, I guess there's not as many situations where it's relevant as I would hope. It's interesting. The second part is generating power by blocking a special is good, unless it's an unblockable special. You just need to hope that you have enough gears to reduce the damage taken so you can survive it. And so here's the thing. When you've got these two things, they're both power related, but you have to make a decision with taking advantage of both elements of his passive. So do you make him tankier so he can survive blocked specials as you generate more power? Or do you make his specials more powerful, expecting to get lots of power?
Yeah, and I guess the third option is just like ignore it entirely. And
Right.
just not use it.
Exactly. And this is the way we're playing him in this team.
Yeah.
So that is actually probably the most effective way, because it's like a lot of other characters where it's not the passive that makes them, it's the hidden part. So, all right, before we get to the most important part, I just want to talk about signature gear, which is interesting too, is that the charge disc is particularly good on him. And the reason I point that out is, even though they are signature gears, they're meant for a specific character, they're not always good. Blocking...
Yeah, a lot of times they feel kind of random.
Yeah, for sure. So blocking stops 22% more damage. He has a area effect where the opponent takes 15% damage from special 2, and there's a 20% chance to reflect all specials while blocking. So unlike other gears that reflect damage, his gear has a 20% chance to reflect all the damage, instead of other gears that reflecting means 50-50. You know, like 50 for you, 50 for me. This is... It has the potential to really change the outcome of a fight. So splash damage of 15% on special 2 is as good as the 4th World Godly Mace. So the real key is not his passive. It's that his special 1 stuns every single time.
Yeah.
And it's not even listed. The stun effect is not listed in the special 1 description.
And the fact that it's not listed is probably good, because normally when something's sort of calculated, you get less damage when there's an alternate effect. Right. And so it's not listed, it happens, and his damage is the same as people's similar stats is on their special 1 with no effect. So he doesn't get reduced damage. Yeah.
One drawback of relying on his special 1 is that it does multiple hits. And when you get hit with somebody's special, each hit generates a decent amount of power. And when you it's like Raging Green Lantern's special 2, where it does a huge amount of like a huge number of hits. Yeah. And so if after it's done, your opponent's got a bunch of power to hit you back.
Yeah. So you really want to knock them out.
Yeah, and it would be fine, right? If you could knock them out while they're stunned.
Yeah.
But you're down 1 bar of power to stun them. You've got at most 2 bars of power left, probably 1 or less, because chances are you're not waiting to generate 3 bars of power before you even do a special 1.
Yeah.
So, you could use Cloak or Scythe on static, because that would boost his stun damage, but he's still not doing enough. And I guess the other thing is you could tag someone in, but unless they're a big basic damage dealer, you're not going to get enough damage output. And if you're making static your special specialist, his teammate isn't consistently tagging in with a lot of power, especially if you're doing it more than once.
Yeah.
So you do something to load up more power on your teammate, but everything comes at a cost, right? So Batgirl takes up a slot in your team. Gear slots get taken up to have power on Tegan instead of being able to stack the stun gears of Cloak and Scythe. So the perfect solution is what you're seeing here in this team, which is Rebirth Raven. And so static stuns gives the opponent enough power to make it worth stealing. Raven steals it and does, with her special one, 2-hit stunned damage. The boosted damage is so high that the first hit is better than most one-hit specials. And so we've done a more recent video, or more recent team video that goes over this strategy. But the interesting thing with the variation on this team compared to the other one is that instead of Ibistic on static, we've got Claw of Horus, and that takes care of Astral Harness. And for that advantage, it's worth giving up the ability to stack his damage over time, because when you got Master's Death card and Ibistic, you can really load up on the damage over time on somebody, on your opponent. And Raven, instead of really maxing out her crit chance on special one with LexCorp Gauntlets, we've got her with Enchantress. And the more I use it, the more enamored I am of Enchantress, because what it does is it temporarily disables the opponent's specials. And the last variation is that Hawkgirl, instead of being a tank, she is just generating a bunch of power so that she can be an offensive force. So it's really sort of leaning into the offense a little bit more and playing a little bit with the different gears to use basically the same team composition, but showing you how much of a difference that you can have with a different sort of gear loadout while still having an effective team. Yeah.
So there we go. This is the 145th week of a pattern that first appeared in May of 2020, where 3 complete runs through a 43-week cycle, and we're 16 weeks into the 4th cycle, with next week being Flashpoint Batman.
Right.
And that cycle doesn't include 23 of the characters that have been available at any point in this.
Right.
So it has 43 missing 23. This week's multiplayer reward is Flashpoint Aquaman, whose passive is Barrier Reef, which is during combat, Aquaman has a chance on combo enders to call the ocean to his aid. This drains all his opponent's power by 10%, and Flashpoint characters on Aquaman's team gain a water shield on tag-in that reflects 40% of special damage back at the enemy. Once hit, the shield is used up until next tag-in. He's got 1,350 attack and 1,250 health. So he was last available on the 28th of July 2022, or 113 weeks in a row for the multiplayer reward cycle, which is 3 complete cycles of 31 rewards, and then 20 in our 4th cycle, with nothing missing, unlike the challenge cycle. Next week should be Heart of Darkness.
Right.
Yeah.
So stats are really good, really high.
And balance towards attack,
Yes.
which is always our favorite.
Right. The most important part of it. I was in my mind. I'm stumbling over the words I want to
You're
use.
too fast.
My mouth is too slow is the problem. The most important part of him is that he is Flashpoint, and Deathstroke can take advantage of Aquaman to do the extra damage on Deathstroke specials. Aquaman gets the benefit of Batman's boosted critical damage, and just as a point of interest, there was a stretch where we used the Flashpoint team for years to farm multiplayer as fast as possible, and we used that farming as background video for our Q&A. And we haven't done that for a while because we're trying to do a bunch of different teams, but man, it's super. Link in the description for more detailed discussion about the rationale. The one thing I will point out is that in that team, we like to gear Aquaman with Astral Harness, Claw of Horus, and Razagul Scimitar, and there's a really good explanation for why he's like that. If that's not a tease, I don't know what is.
There we go. So in the store, we've got the Flashpoint Batman pack for $24.99. All of these prices are in Canadian, because that's the data that we have access to.
That's the only currency that matters.
Yeah, you like saying that, don't you?
I do.
And that includes 100,000 power credits. It's a corroborating clue. It's sort of our second piece of evidence, along with our awareness of the cycle, that that's what next week's challenge is. They sort of confirm each other. Doesn't unlock in the store, and given the fact that you're going to be able to earn him next week in a way that will unlock in the store once you get your sort of normal difficulty done of the challenge, it's not worth it, right? As long as you think you have any chance of getting it next week, or you don't want it really, really bad, it's not worth the money, for sure. We also have the character bundle of Themyscira. Hard
Battle
to
of
say.
Themyscira.
Sorry, the character bundle Battle of Themyscira,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's for $24.99.
Because it would be a geographical bundle if it wasn't. Would it be like tickets to Themyscira's? What do they have? Like, what are the
I don't know
local
what you're
attractions?
talking-
I'm
I don't
thinking
know what
like,
you're
you know, like
talking about, man.
if you were like, it's a bundle of Toronto,
Like an
you'd have
amusement
like
park?
yeah, or you'd have like tickets to the CN Tower,
Ripley's
and
Aquarium.
yeah, like that. So it would be a bundle with Themyscira, so you get like tickets to, I don't know, like the Amazon's Olympics or whatever.
I
like
don't know anything about
I don't know.
anything.
Okay.
Anyways, it comes with Ares and Dawn of Justice Wonder Woman, and you get the Dawn of Justice gear for Wonder Woman and Ares signature gear.
Yep.
In terms of stuff that's been around for a little bit, Arkham Pack 1 is on its second week.
Yep.
And then we have stuff that's been around for a really long time now.
More than a year.
Yeah, the character bundle Batman Universe 65 weeks in, Most Wanted Pack 72, and then those celebration packs, the 300th metal packs, have been around for more than a year now, 57 or 59 weeks, depending on...
So should we stop talking about packs that have been around for at least a year?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think
it
at this
should.
point we can probably cut them.
Because they're background noise now.
Yeah.
So, Phantom Zone is finished. Fight 62 still broken. Last weekend's breakthrough for golds was Catwoman, Deathstroke, and Raven. This coming weekend is probably Cyborg, Batgirl, and Black Adam based on the cycle. A link in the description to a Reddit thread from Devlin16 that goes over the complete breakthrough cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And we do our glitch detail once per month. And that's the first week. And that's what this week is.
Yeah, and this is the sort of first monthly update. I mean, we talked about it right when it happened.
Yeah.
But this is the first monthly update that has had a major shift. And unfortunately, it hasn't been a good one.
Right. So if you want to skip all this and you just want to see what the current glitches are, every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We are Android only, so we only confirm these glitches for Android.
Mm-hmm. So starting off with the significant not working glitches.
Right.
There's nothing for power credits that we are aware of that we are willing to endorse. So on season 6, episode 9 of our P&Q and CNANT, which we'll have linked, we talked about a power credit glitch that did exist, at least at that point and for a little while afterwards, where you could get credits, but involved signing into 2 devices at once, and we never endorsed it. And then less people have been talking about it now, and because we've never tried it, we don't really know if it's still doable, but we definitely wouldn't recommend doing it even if you could.
Right. So the glitch for getting multiplayer season rewards repeatedly is not working. The glitch to get them early is not working, although it's probably happening a few times when people experience the kind of problem where they don't get the rewards at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But so it's not working in a way that you can exploit easily. There's no glitch to get through Phantom Zone quickly when it's over. Or sorry, when it's running, I mean. It is over now. I'm stumbling over my words. So there's no glitch to get through quickly when it's there, but it's over just now. And the new addition to this list is the Challenge Reset and the Phantom Zone Reset have not been working because of an incompatibility between Google and Injustice.
Yeah, so the Google Play Cloud services are not usable right now, which is it's a key part of doing the glitch. So as long as that stays not usable.
Yeah, so this happened a few years ago. And a few years ago, the developers for Injustice actually pushed a bug fix update that had no new content to make it compatible with Google again. So until that happens, or unless that happens, this will spell the end of those 2 glitches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I guess the other thing is the glitch that let you play to get the free energy without watching the video.
Yeah.
It also wasn't working, that you'd have to actually watch the ads.
Yeah, that's a little anticlimactic. But okay.
Yeah.
In terms of the working glitches, the glitch
play breakthrough repeatedly.
Breakthrough,
Yeah, that one's still working. The airplane mode / refund glitch is still working, good for both packs with random drops and last laugh tickets. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited survivor play and energy recharges. But just remember, put your clock and your calendar back to where it should be before you finish. That is probably the reason why so many people are complaining that the events like the Phantom Zone or the Challenge doesn't come when it's supposed to.
Yeah. And in between not working and working glitches, we have the promotion glitch where you can promote characters that are still locked. It hasn't had the right conditions since update 2.14, so it's not testable and it's not usable. Although theoretically that could come back any day. And unlike sort of the challenge mode glitch, the challenge reset glitch that's not working right now, it wouldn't require an update, right? It would just need a different sort of screen showing up.
Right.
And so that is it.
Yep. So a big thank you to our patrons on Patreon, and that would be Korey Ashcraft, supporting us at the highest tier Last Word, Michael Devries, Irvin, Ruiz, Hoshi 127, Drew Chapman, who are all supporting us on the credited level, and also the people that you see rolling across the screen right now who have supported us at some point during this pandemic.
Yeah, thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Komoda.